Now, as you can see, I have many ingredients on the table, which will all be used for the fruitcake. Now, I have molasses, brown sugar, salt, mace, baking powder, nutmeg, ground cloves, allspice, baking soda, 2 pounds of butter. Yes, butter. It doesn't make any difference, salted or unsalted. I always use salted. Then we have raisins, and let's see, I will be using 8 cups of flour, and then all my candied cherries, fruits, and everything, and of course the nuts. I have nuts in and on top for decorations. Also keep some of your green cherries and red cherries out because you want to put on the top for your decoration. And then your bread pans are ready and oiled and everything, ready to go. So when you get your mixture, you can start filling up your pans 3/4 filled. And then I don't have them out here yet, but I'll have 14 eggs. And let's see what else. I guess that's about all. And oh yes, you need your rum, and if you're going to use bourbon, I use rum inside my fruit to moisten it, and then after the cakes are done, I use rum or bourbon or something like that. It's your choice. Just don't put too much liquor on the top, just lightly over the top, because it can get pretty potent otherwise. And don't forget to have your saran wrap or your foil or however you're going to wrap it. One year I wrapped it in saran wrap, and then I put a little foil on the bottom for decoration, and then I put it in a plastic bag. It's your choice, but just don't put it just in a plastic bag. I would suggest you put saran wrap, but you don't put the liquor over the top. When your fruitcakes are done, put them on a table, and I usually put them on a cookie sheet, and then I put the little liquor over the top of the fruitcakes, and then I put like a white pillowcase or something like that over to get the moisture all in, and let them cool real good before I wrap them. This makes a great gift, and I'll tell you, if you don't like fruitcake, you will like it after tasting this fruitcake. Believe me, I know. I'm not going to make that many this year because, it's, like I say, it got expensive. But I am going to make a few because without making fruitcakes for Christmas, it's not a Christmas for me. I want to explain something as a helpful hint to you people out there. If you store any fruits or any foods in the containers with this type of lid, do not do that. Because if you get the pantry pests, moths, they can get into these containers very easy. I would suggest getting plastic containers for storage with the screw on tops. I went through a bad year of this year, and now all my cereals and noodles and everything are in plastic containers with a screw top. And yes, I did find one of these containers in a store that had about 6 moths in there. How they got in, they did not know, but they were in the bottom and one on the side inside. I cover the extra pans that can't fit in the oven yet. Until they go into the oven, I put this kind of wrap over the top, as you can see, so they don't dry out. They set on the table until the other ones are done. So that's another important thing. Table all set to start mixing up my fruitcakes. And just a little space left right in the middle here. This will be for 2018 fruitcakes. Hello, and welcome to my newcomers to my site and my old friends that have been with me for years. I am going to make my special fruitcake for the last time. Things are getting out of hand in prices, and I'm getting a little tired of doing this. I've been doing it for over 50 years. And I want to show you how I do make my fruit cakes. They are the best. And people that tear them down, they have never tasted my fruit cake. It's a lot of work, and the prices, oh, they're getting out of range on the fruits. So again, I want to say have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a good, wonderful 2019. I'll show you more as I go along. This is those big containers of fruit, and you can see what kind of fruit's in here. It's pineapple, cherries, and citron, and whatever. The raisins are separate. I'll put those in. But this is the fruit that fill my fruit cake. Oh, that's so delicious. But a container like this is about $10. Now this is a container with pineapple. Just beware, as you're going to be using this fruit, you're going to also be nibbling. Because yes, you can eat it. It doesn't have to wait till it's baked. It's very good candied fruit. This bottle of rum is brand new and full to the top. And what is missing is what I poured over the fruit in the bowl to soften all the fruit and make sure that there are no hard pieces. So it is sitting in rum right now. This may seem silly to some people, but believe me, you should do it this way. Break 1 egg in a container, then put in the big container, 1 egg, until you get 14. Because I have run into a bad egg here and there with a bunch of good ones. Then that ruins everything. So this is what I do. 14 eggs ready. I put all the spices in this container so I can get the other jars off the table. There is no baking soda in here. Baking powder, yes. So the spices are all ready for the mixture. 2 pounds of real butter softened has been added to the molasses and the brown sugar. Okay, getting ready to make fruit cake. Here's another thing you got to do after getting all your ingredients on the table. Get your pans and cut out liners for your pans, because it will stop your fruit cake from getting any burnt marks or anything on it. It makes a very good fruit cake. Then I do not use a spray oil in my pans. I use a regular paper towel with oil, and I oil the whole inside. Then I put the paper in, and then fill the containers here with 3/4 of my mixture before I bake. And it's a slow baking process. I do it at 275 for a couple hours, but since I have a new stove, I've got to do it a little bit different. 275, but I have to watch it, because some stoves bake different than other stoves. Some are hotter, depending if you're using LP, electric, or what. I like LP. That way my power never goes off when I'm baking. Now, I stack them like this, so it holds the paper in for now anyway. Then when I'm ready to start my cakes, I oil the pans and put the paper in. And I never use parchment. Maybe somebody's used parchment paper, but I prefer this. Then when I put my cakes in the oven, only on the one shelf, on the bottom shelf, I put a pan of water. And that keeps the moisture in the cakes. So just remember, don't put 2 or 3 shelves of cakes in your oven, because then they bake differently. After an hour and a half to 2 hours, then I put a sharp knife in and see if none of the batter comes out with it, then they're done. You will get some moisture on your knife from the fruit, but you should know the difference from the fruit or the dough. So this is another helpful hint. When you decorate the top of your fruit cakes, push the items in a little bit, because when they bake, they will be popping up. You don't want them to pop out of the dough. Any decorations you want. These 6 pans are full of fruit cake mix and decorated. Now ready to go into the oven.